How massive can a beetle truly get? This question is far from rhetorical, and modern entomologists have very specific answers backed up by cold, hard data. Our familiar temperate latitudes of the European part of the planet are, to put it mildly, not exactly bursting with giants. The absolute maximum you might encounter in the shadow of an oak grove on a pleasant summer evening is a stag beetle, reaching a modest, by global standards, 80 to 90 millimeters. For Europe, it is considered an absolute titan and a point of local pride, but on a global scale, it is dwarfed by the true kings of the microworld by 2 or even 3 times. Closer to the equator, however, where the air is stagnant, hot, thick, and fully saturated with moisture year-round, live creatures that you simply cannot bring yourself to call mere insects. These are real monsters, looking as if they crawled straight off the screens of a sci-fi movie. Creatures of an entirely different weight class. Titans, if you will. The titan beetles, Titanus giganteus. When you see this creature for the first time, not as a picture in a biology textbook, but in the flesh, it triggers a genuine cognitive dissonance. The mind refuses to perceive this entity as a beetle. It looks more like some prehistoric reptile or a futuristic organic combat drone. In that exact moment, you realize that nature is capable of expanding the boundaries of our familiar world to absolutely mind-blowing proportions. And it is here, amidst the eternal summer and impenetrable thickets, that the story of one of the most astonishing inhabitants of our planet unfolds. Anatomy of an armored monster and its destructive might. The appearance of this giant inspires not just a passing tremor, but a deep biological reverence. Its massive, elongated, and monolithic body is entirely encased in an incredibly durable, spiky armor of a deep blackish-brown or chestnut hue. This exoskeleton is so hard and dense that it renders the beetle virtually invulnerable to most natural predators of the Amazon, including birds and small mammals. If you pick it up, though doing so will require a certain amount of courage and composure, you will not feel the fragility of a typical bug, but the weight of a solid, heavy piece of timber or bone. This creature possesses a true, primordial physical substance that simply cannot be ignored. The beetle's long, thick, segmented antennae are like flexible rods, constantly in motion, smoothly scanning the space around them and catching the faintest vibrations in the air. The insect's powerful, muscular legs are equipped with sharp, inwardly curved claws that look more like a medieval torture instrument. Thanks to these legs, the beetle locks its heavy body onto tree bark with a death grip. Once it latches onto a trunk, prying it off without damaging its limbs becomes an almost impossible task. But the feature that truly commands an intimidated stare is its large, powerful, sickle-shaped jaws, its mandibles. Looking at these natural vices, you instinctively understand at a primal level. Nature did not design them for delicately chewing on tender green leaves. It feels as though these terrifying grindstones could effortlessly snap a human finger right down to the bone. Physics-defying logic and Guinness records. So, are you going to bite? Whether this is true or not, we are certainly not going to test it through personal experience right now. And don't think we are cowards or that we back down from a challenge. The thing is, even if we desperately wanted to, and to be completely honest, we aren't particularly eager, testing the destructive power of this behemoth's jaws this very second would be impossible no matter how hard we tried. We are separated from them by thousands of kilometers of wilderness, state borders, visa regimes, and the vast Atlantic Ocean. The titan beetle, which scientists honor with the Latin name Titanus giganteus, is a strict endemic. It lives exclusively in the depths of the Amazon rainforest, in the most remote, unexplored, and dangerous corners of South America. And good luck trying to track it down in those endless, multi-layered green wildlands. Such a task is akin to finding a needle in a haystack. This is despite the fact that the beetle is, to put it mildly, not exactly small, and hiding it in your pocket is out of the question. On average, the body length of adult individuals hovers between 13 and 17 centimeters, but that is just a baseline average. Certain unique specimens, according to documented data confirmed by entomologists, reach an incredible 16.7 and even 22 centimeters in length. And note that these shocking measurements are taken strictly from the body, completely excluding the massive, sweeping antennae. The dry weight of a prepared, pinned entomological specimen is about 26 grams, but a live beetle in the wild, pulsing with fluids and primordial strength, can weigh anywhere from 60 to 100 grams. For comparison, that is the weight of a decent modern smartphone or a fairly large songbird. For its phenomenal dimensions, the Titan beetle is officially and indisputably recorded in the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest and most massive beetle on planet Earth. From the standpoint of classical aerodynamics, such a heavy, bulky creature shouldn't be able to lift off into the air at all. It is too massive, its dense body creates enormous drag, and at first glance, its wings seem utterly disproportionate to such a colossal mass. Yet, defying all the calculations of armchair scientists, the Titan takes flight in the humid, nocturnal stillness of the jungle. Its flight is a spectacle bordering on mysticism and science fiction. A heavy, low, roaring hum echoes through the tree crowns, silencing small birds. Due to its immense kinetic energy, a Titan flying at full speed can literally knock an adult human off their feet or cause noticeable injury if it accidentally collides with them in the dark of night. It flies like a launched cannonball, crashing straight through branches and foliage. The great mystery of the underground grub and the biological dead end. From its very first to its very last day, the life of the Titan is shrouded in a thick, almost mystical veil of secrecy that global science has been trying to pierce for centuries. There are several highly compelling biological reasons for this. First of all, for their cyclopean, regal proportions, adult beetles live for an incredibly short time, just a few fleeting weeks. Why did nature deal such an unfair hand? The secret lies in a shocking and somber anatomical detail. The adult Titan beetle cannot and does not eat at all. Its mouthparts are completely, utterly atrophied. During the few short weeks allotted to it above ground, it doesn't take a single sip of life-giving moisture or consume a single scrap of food. Its complex organism operates like an expensive Swiss watch running on a non-rechargeable single-use battery. It expends exclusively those energy reserves and nutrients that were painstakingly accumulated during its previous hidden life as a larva. All of this energy is spent without reservation on a frantic search for a mate, heavy flights, and procreation, after which the beetle's vital forces rapidly deplete, its internal organs give out, and it quietly dies on the forest floor. Secondly, observing Titan beetles in their natural habitat is an absolute, excruciating ordeal for any researcher. During the day, these beetles stay quieter than water and lower than grass. They remain motionless, meticulously hiding among the dense, impenetrable evergreen vegetation, blending perfectly with tree bark and ancient mosses. Everything interesting, dynamic, and vital, including ferocious, uncompromising battles between males for territory, complex courtship rituals, and subsequent egg-laying, happens deep at night. All of this unfolds under the cover of absolute tropical darkness, when the human eye, without specialized equipment, is incapable of discerning anything at all. Yet, while science knows at least something about the adults thanks to light traps, the world's scientists know absolutely nothing about their larvae. It sounds wild and unbelievable in our high-tech century, but it is an undeniable fact. In the entire history of global entomology, no one, anywhere, has ever found a living or dead Titan beetle larva in the wild. Not a single scientist can point a finger at a map or a tree with 100% certainty and say exactly where they develop, what they look like, or what their precise physiology is. Nevertheless, for inquisitive minds and experienced researchers, this has not been an insurmountable barrier. Scientists have been able to theoretically reconstruct a hypothetical image of these creatures, drawing heavily on the appearance, anatomical structure, and habits of the offspring of other, closely related and better studied beetle species from the longhorn family. And it must be said, this official scientific reconstruction turns out to be quite terrifying and eerie. Just fire up your imagination and picture this. A massive, glistening, fleshy, dirty white grub up to 36 centimeters long and weighing nearly 300 grams. Essentially, that is the size and weight of a plump adult city rat. An imposing and unsettling sight, isn't it? But what else did you expect? By all laws of nature, a large and menacing beetle deserves a large, powerful larva. These subterranean leviathans live, most likely, deep underground in total darkness, or inside the gargantuan, centuries-old rotting trunks of fallen trees. Year after year, step by step, they chew their colossal subway-like tunnels, utilizing their terrifying mandibles, which surely possess a truly frightening, crushing power. They literally grind solid wood into dust, preparing for their grand, final transformation. The obsession of collectors and insane money. At least with the adult beetles, there is absolutely no doubt that their jaws are in perfect working order. Among Amazon researchers, real stories are passed down of a freshly caught, enraged Titan beetle casually snapping a wooden pencil as thick as a finger clean in half. Precisely because of their phenomenal, extreme size, as well as the thick, alluring aura of mystery that tightly surrounds their brief and secretive lives, these insects have become objects of wild, fanatical desire for a wide variety of people. They are relentlessly hunted by serious academic entomologists, major state museums of natural history, and of course, eccentric, obsessed collectors of high-end exotic items. These individuals are ready to engage in any financial madness and bypass any laws just to secure a prized, perfectly spread, dried specimen under airtight glass in their living room. Because the legal harvesting and transportation of the Titan beetle are fraught with immense difficulties, colossal logistical expenses, life-threatening risks in the wild jungle, and the dangers of tropical diseases, buying one on the market is only possible for very large, sometimes astronomical sums of money. It is a truly elite, premium commodity of the insect world, the 24-karat gold among beetles. A specimen of the most modest average size, around 13 to 15 centimeters long, will set a buyer back anywhere from 200 to 300 crisp US dollars. If you want a large, beautiful, flawless collector's item, prepare to shell out $500 to $800. And as for the largest, most titanic and rare specimens, whose length approaches the coveted 20 centimeters, the price easily clears $1,000 and sometimes $1,500. For rare, perfectly preserved specimens of maximum size, connoisseurs will part with sums equivalent to the price of a decent used car without a single shadow of a doubt or a moment of hesitation. For these people, the centimeters of an exotic carapace are far more important than comfort or practicality. A fatal light in the ocean of primordial darkness. How on earth do you catch this priceless treasure if it spends years hiding in inaccessible tree canopies and activates exclusively deep at night? The single and most significant vulnerability of the Titan beetle is its irresistible, fatal attraction to bright light, hardwired by millions of years of evolution. In the pristine jungles, untouched by civilization, the only nocturnal reference points for beetles were always the faint moon and distant, barely visible stars. But man brought his destructive technologies into the wilds of the Amazon. Modern entomologists and local professional trappers utilize powerful mercury, halogen, and ultraviolet lamps, powered by noisy diesel generators. They stretch huge white screens of thick fabric across forest clearings. When this blinding artificial light, piercing for kilometers, suddenly flashes over the quieted night forest, the Titans completely lose their bearings. Their internal navigational compass, honed over centuries, is totally disrupted. The beetle flies toward this powerful, hypnotic summons, heavily crashing into the white canvas with a dull thud, and falls helplessly to the ground, where the nimble hands of a trapper eagerly await it. Yet, even in this scenario, nature maintains a stubborn defense and is in no hurry to reveal all her cards. The catch is that only males, driven by their searching instinct, fly into these artificial lights. Female Titan beetles remain almost completely indifferent to light traps. They prefer not to take risks and stay in the deep, safe shadow of the forest, entirely occupied with finding the ideal spots to deposit their future eggs. This is precisely why female Titans make up a measly microscopic percentage of private and museum collections worldwide. They are valued by collectors quite literally at their weight in pure gold, and obtaining such a specimen is the pinnacle of any entomologist's career. The fragile balance of a vanishing world. The story of the Titan beetle is not merely a dry, entertaining tale about the gigantism of tropical nature or the whims of wealthy collectors. It is a profound narrative about an incredible, yet deeply fragile, natural balance. A creature capable of snapping a thick branch with a single crunch of its jaws and easily surviving an attack by a predatory bird, thanks to its impenetrable armor, turns out to be utterly defenseless against the planet-scale changes brought by humanity. The Amazon rainforest, rightfully called the main lungs of our planet, is rapidly and ruthlessly shrinking today under the onslaught of heavy machinery. The barbaric clearing of old-growth rainforests to make way for banana plantations, cattle pastures, and mining fundamentally destroys the very ecosystem in which this beetle has thrived for millions of years. Ancient trees are vanishing, trees within whose wood giant larvae may have been quietly developing for decades, unseen by the world. If their subterranean, secret, and inviolable home disappears completely, the world of adult titans will inevitably come to an end. They will quietly slip into oblivion, just like their distant relatives, the dinosaurs, did long ago. The next time you catch yourself thinking, while sitting in your cozy apartment, that the surrounding world has become boring, predictable, and fully explored inside and out, just remember this fact. At this very second, somewhere out there in the sultry, humid night of South America, heavy with the scent of damp earth, beneath the deafening, cascading chirping of millions of cicadas, a living titan is taking flight, heavily unfurling its transparent wings from beneath a massive black shell. It does not know what fear is. It cannot feel hunger. It has no time for doubts. It has only a couple of short weeks to blast through the darkness, find its queen, and declare to the universe that its majestic lineage is still alive. It flies forward, navigating by the ancient magnetic fields of the planet, the true, grand, and incomprehensible king of its hidden, receding underground world. And our ultimate responsibility is simply not to get in the way of this eternal, majestic flight.